staying healthy is not something that 49ers have been able to do this season. Man, it has been rough for them. So I think maybe the least surprising of the four upsets here is the 49ers losing to the Falcons. The spread was only 3.5 points because I think Vegas knew about the injuries for the 49ers. On defense, I mean, they didn't have who? Bosa was out.
No Armstead.
No
Kinlaw.
Jimmy Ward's been out. Emmanuel Mosley gone for the year with that ACL. I mean, at a certain point, like, you don't want to make excuses for teams. That seems kind of lame, right? And the Falcons did a lot of things to win this game.
McGlinchey hurt.
Yes. Offensively and defensively, yeah, good point. At a certain point, I mean, no team can make up for the number of injuries that the 49ers have had.
It's hard. It really is. It is. And you know, for the style of football they play, there's some really key positions, too. I understand that everybody's top-tier pass rusher and things like that, but they're a team that's really about their front four. They're built through that. You know, they don't want to blitz a whole lot. They're not that kind of team. And to not have those horses there, is an issue. And then, you know, a little banged up on the offensive line. I mean, across the board, Trent Williams, McGlinchey, you know, there's been issues there. And, you know, they got a center playing and Brendel who's below average. You know, I really still thought they would win the football game. I did. But Atlanta's one of those teams where I'm amazed by Atlanta. They're another team like the New York Giants that I just go, every week they play the right way, they manage the game the right way, and they're just going to go, we're going to make it ugly and be in a one-score game late, and we're going to hope we pull it out. That's kind of the way they play. And that's scary for, you know, teams. But the one thing that jumped out to me yesterday, all right, Ahmed, is they came out throwing the football. That was the one thing. The first drive, I went, oh, wow. You know, they took the approach of we're going to throw with Mariota, who played really well. They didn't throw a whole lot after that first drive, honestly. And then defense gets a fumble on Jeff Wilson's 3rd-and-1 run. They pick it up, run it for a touchdown. So there you are, 14-0 against a team who, you know, I mean, or you're down 14-0 against a team that really likes to control the clock and make the game shorter.
Yeah.
So that was tough. And then I think the shock of the day to me was the fact that I just thought the 49ers would still be able to run the ball a little bit on Atlanta. So the fact that Atlanta ran the ball so consistently well on their side of the ball and the 49ers couldn't get a running game, I think to me it was really the shocker of the day there. And as we always know, when the 49ers become too much past Jimmy Garoppolo, that's not their strength of their football team. It's not. And it becomes a little predictable, and you know where Jimmy Garoppolo likes to throw the football, and that becomes sometimes, when you do it over and over, dicey to throw the ball down the middle into tight windows time after time after time.
Yeah, Mariota only one incomplete pass the entire day, 13 of 14, 129 yards. Here's Jimmy G's passing chart.
Little different chart than Mahomes and Josh Allen.
A little closer to the line of scrimmage. The two touchdowns are basically just over the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Here's a question from Derek Weatherford. I don't know how closely you were watching this game at the end because there was a lot going on with all the other games.
Yeah, cool. Let me hear it.
But he said, thankful to have Kyle as the coach of the 49ers. So he just wants to put that out there.
Yeah.
But then he says, but I have noticed that he is not a fan of the hurry-up. They are down 2 touchdowns. They seem to be showing no sense of urgency. Is this Kyle's style? Is this because the defense was tired? What are the reasons? I don't know how much you saw
I'm guessing it was a little bit of all of that. The defense being tired. You know, I got to go back and look, see how many timeouts they had available and things like that. You know, but yeah, I don't. Listen, I think there's a reluctance whenever for him just go like no huddle, put the ball in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands and let him do whatever. And he's not always trustworthy that way. And the number one thing about them too is, you know, they're at their best when they do get in a huddle and it's a crazy shift in emotion, and then they can run a play off of that. So I think there's that aspect too that Shanahan wants to keep available to his football team. I was going to ask something, answer something else, but either way, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah, and they had new guys in there. You know, the offensive line you mentioned already with some injuries there. Jake Brendel had some issues on a drive where he had an illegal downfield penalty, then a holding penalty, then a false start penalty, all in the same drive.
Right.
And so, who knows? They had a lot of different guys in doing different things. Maybe
I don't think there's any doubt, and they become too easy to defend. You know, that's where I always get back to the Jimmy Garoppolo, the negative Chris Simms when he's on Jimmy Garoppolo is just because you know, his inability to throw the ball outside the numbers and down the field. You know, it's just, you know, bring up that sprite chart again, Pete, if you can, the one we just showed. I mean, again, It's not hard to coach defenses that way to stop that type of passing game. It's just let me find creative ways to get guys down in the box to, one, stop the run, and now guys, in the box between the tackles to stop the short passes over the middle of the football field. And for like a smart defensive coordinator like Dean Pease, I think once he took away the run game, he was going, oh, okay, well, I know where they're going to throw it. And the rest was history.
He was upset early in the game, too, because the Falcons blew that 14-0 lead. It was 14-14, so they had to reassert themselves. They did that. The Falcons improved to 3-3. The 49ers fall to 3-3. Those are the upsets.
Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.